Hi everybody, my name's John. Welcome back or welcome to my channel John Repeat, where I react to iconic music, artist albums, and other bits and pieces and put stuff on repeat. When I think of Amy Winehouse, I think of her lavish, larger-than-life voice, her genre-bending sound, and I also obviously think of the personal struggles that she went through which shaped her life and artistry in such a profound way. Given the new biopic on Netflix about Amy and her life and music, I thought it was only right to do my next Who Is series episode on Amy. I am so excited to explore 6 of her tracks from her debut to her final few songs. Without further ado, let's start. The first song that I will be listening to is Stronger Than Me, and that is from Amy's debut album, Frank, and it's her debut single. She's got such an amazing voice, such a distinctive voice. Oh. She wants to be comforted. She wants to feel loved and supported. And she's like kind of caretaking for this guy. Oh my god. Very defined gender roles, but I guess what she's saying is that she feels like she has to take the lead on everything. She has to kind of mother him in a way and support him, but where's her reciprocated support? She needs somebody who can take the lead, who can support her, who can call the shots a little bit, because she feels like she's having to step into a different energy, and she wants to kind of sit back and have a man take care of her. Come on, homophobia. I mean, you've got to look at it from a different lens, haven't you? Like, this was written in, like, what, 2003, 2002? Completely different time. But she was really coming for his neck. This little straight boy, she was saying, no, 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 you're of the community. But obviously we know not everyone in the community is a certain way, and that's something called stereotyping. So yeah, it's like the beginning of the relationship was so passionate, it sounds, and it's just kind of fizzled. Ooh, she just wants that physicality back in the relationship. I think that's probably like the gay reference as well. She's basically like, can we just hook up? Like, we don't need to be talking about feelings all the time. I need you to take control. I need you to grab me and let's go. I think the immediate thing that grabs my attention with this is she's so sassy. And it's that personality that the world fell in love with her about. You know what I think is great as well is it really does blend like that R&B, soul, jazz, all of those things, especially in this whole album. It really stands out, and it's so authentic and vulnerable. She's talking about very vulnerable things and emotions, and she's being just so open and honest about these struggles, which a lot of couples face. Come on, trumpet! Okay, the next song I'm going to be listening to is Rehab from Back to Black, her second album, and this was in 2006. I love the personal details of this song. It's just really well produced as well with Mark Ronson. It's like such an iconic song in her discography. I love how deeply personal it is as well. She's not afraid, and she wasn't afraid to write about her personal experiences in a very frank way, which I think, I would argue, really helped pave the way for singers afterwards to be vulnerable within their music. A lot of these darker themes, you know, present themselves in pop music later on as well, and I know a lot of artists have been influenced by Amy and her songwriting. But yeah, it's not just her voice that was amazing. She was very clever with the way that she wrote lyrics. Oh, she's got such a beautiful voice. So beautiful. I love how just frank and honest it is. Like, why do you think you're here? I said, I got no idea. It's vulnerable in the way that it's not figured everything out, and it's from an autobiographical perspective, and she's like in the midst of still working on it and figuring out herself, and it's painting a really vivid picture in your mind about this whole scene playing out. I like how it also ties in with the album theme of Back to Black. So it's like, yes, I've been black, but when I come back, and that's obviously echoed throughout the album as well. Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to spend 10 weeks and trying to get better, and everyone thinks that I'm doing better, but I'm actually still drinking, or I'm still going to self-destruct. It's like that self-sabotage. And also, like, she doesn't want that sympathy. She just wants to live her life, get high, get drunk, and not worry about shit. It's not a problem for her. It's not a problem for her daddy, not a problem for her, so the narrator's clearly just being like, okay, I'm just going to do what I want. I bet this was so good with a live band. Next song I'm listening to is Back to Black from the same album. I love the effect on her voice. It's so interesting. It sounds like it's straight out of the 50s or the 60s. He left no time to regret, kept his dick wet with his same old safe bet. It's like feeling like you are this dependable booty call and you're kind of like disposable in a way. She's like the other woman in this case, you know. Oh, I love the harmonies. Oh. It's almost kind of like when the curtain's drawn and you're like in a show and you're back to black. That's how I view it in my own mind. Like the curtain's gone down, she's backstage now. She's back to black. It's like the spotlight's off her and the relationship and onto somebody else. And, you know, back to black, you can interpret that as being like back to the darkness of not being in this relationship, back to the blackness of her own life, but also back to not being considered in his mind anymore. I mean, he's so far removed from all that they went through. It's like when you're with somebody and then they've just like gone back to the person that they originally were with, they've gone back to their ex, they've moved on without you. It's hurtful, and she's clearly grappling with that because she's still in that relationship. It's only just happened for her. I also like the fact as well that my odds are stacked, I'll go back to black. It's almost like a gambling thing. And I know in this same album she has Love is a Losing Game, so it kind of ties in with that sort of theme, which is interesting. Oh, I love the guitar as well. We only said goodbye with words. She didn't get that closure that she wanted. I died 100 times, that exaggeration, I think just really adds to it. You go back to her and I go back to black. So sad. I love the frankness of her lyrics and the emotion. I love you so much. It's admitting that even when they're your ex, you know, it's very vulnerable. And obviously there's the difference there in their like drug use and their lifestyle choices, all contributing to the end of this relationship. I think this is with her, you know, really poignant ex at the time, who then she later married. So given that, it makes sense why this is such an intense song. I don't really understand that reference of, and life is like a pipe and I'm a tiny penny rolling up the walls inside. I don't know if that's like a drugs reference, which would obviously tie in with the theme of like, you know, intoxication in the album and stuff. And rolling up the walls inside, it's like kind of conveying that empty feeling maybe that she feels without the relationship. You can hear like that sort of echo in a way. Kind of sounds like a western, like a country western in a way. I love the percussion as well. It sounds like a heartbeat. She's like contemplating that all on her own. I love the harmonies as well. It sounds like a funeral, and it is. When you break up with somebody, it is almost like someone's died. You can't ever go back to them in a lot of cases, and you lose that loving relationship from your life. It's like somebody has died. It's really sad. Next song I'm listening to is Tears Dry on Their Own. She's still got that sass that we can hear obviously in the beginning of her career, which is so cool. All I can ever be to you is a darkness that we know, and this regret I got accustomed to. And then she's like, once it was so right when we were at our high. Obviously it ties in with the drug use, but she's obviously referring to like the happy times of the relationship. This is a progression of how she was feeling before about that regret with Back to Black, but now she's kind of accustomed to that regret and she's sort of getting used to that and overcoming that upset to move on from the relationship, which I think is a really nice side to like that whole grief that she experienced with that loss of that really intense relationship. Sometimes you know that someone's not right for you, but you still want to hang on to it, and you still want to hang on to that love and that relationship. And so many times we fall madly in love with people, and then that compatibility thing gets in the way, which is annoying. But ultimately, what ended this relationship? Iconic chorus. So a lot of metaphors here. When the sun goes down, so typically that sun, it represents like the end of a cycle, that metaphor. So the end of a cycle, the end of an era, the end of the day. And so she's basically saying, he walks away from the relationship has ended, but I'm grown, I can work it out on myself, and in the blue shade, in the darkest, deepest sadness and depression, my tears will dry on their own. I will get through this on my own, which is such a strong song of resilience during this difficult time, which I think really adds to that album of Back to Black as well. Again, it's kind of like comparing this relationship to drugs and drug use and being intoxicated. It's like having a withdrawal from somebody. You know, the chemicals that you feel in your brain when you're in love with somebody are the same as when you take narcotics in a lot of ways. So it completely makes sense that it fits into this album of like dealing with intoxication and drug use. And it almost seems like the love that she felt for this person was another form of drug that she depended on, which she's having to wean herself away from. And sometimes you don't understand why you stress somebody out so much, but some people just aren't compatible. That's what I was going to say as well. This song is very much of so much perspective, which is amazing. Yes, girl, don't fuck yourself in the head with stupid man. You be independent on your own. And a perspective pushes through, I'll be some next man's other woman soon. Bit pessimistic, but in a way she's saying that I will move on. maybe this pattern will repeat itself. So it's kind of like she's very self-aware of her own problems, which is interesting. I love the way it builds up here. I love these metaphors. So we are history. Your shadow covers me. The sky above ablaze. It's almost like that kind of shadow of the relationship. How I would view that is the shadow of the relationship, all of that negativity covers her and coats her life. But above all of that, the sky is ablaze. It's beautiful above that shadow, which she's trying to overcome. So in the depths of her breaking up in this relationship, she's going to be moving on forward and there's going to be a brighter day ahead. Oh. Oh. And only love can heal. Oh. She's such a beautiful voice. Again, a song of like such amazing resilience. The next song I'm going to listen to is Love is a Losing Game, the penultimate one. I mean, I really just want to highlight the fact that this album has so many different blended genres which just create this such beautiful music. I love this ballad, it's so beautiful. It really ties into the themes of like your chips being down, almost like the playing like poker, roulette, blackjack with the chips, with the back to black. It's really interesting, it ties really well into the album, I'd say. I love the way she repeats love is a losing game throughout this verse. It's like really reiterates that message. And I think a flame is the perfect visual to describe this relationship. Burning so brightly, but just like burning everything down with it. It's almost kind of like she's saying how it was such a strong, amazing love until things got difficult and then he just bailed. Which, and she's kind of like quite cynical about that. These are such poetic, beautiful lyrics. Though I battle blind, love is a fate resigned. It's like love is an inevitable thing, even though I don't understand it. I can't see where it's going all the time. I can't see the point. It's just fate to fall in love, and somehow it, even though she doesn't feel like it's worth it, in a way it kind of is. She kind of feels like it's trivial, it's stupid, it's messy, it's so ridiculous, it never works, but it's just something that continues to happen. It's like fate. And she's haunted by the memories of this relationship. The final song I'm going to listen to is Valerie. Let's go, let's take it home, Amy. Ah, we love a bit of talking. Really adds that sass, that familiarity. In my head I paint a picture. Sometimes I go out by myself and look across the water, so poetic. very much she's infatuated by this person, showing that love and that connection, and you know, the early stages of that relationship of just like wanting that person. It's fun, it's upbeat, it's so signature Amy Winehouse. Obviously I know that it's a cover, but this really is an iconic song within her discography. Because I think that her husband went to jail, didn't he? So obviously I know why she obviously connected with this song, because I think it was called Blake. He went to jail. It's like a basic picture of this reckless person that this narrator is obviously infatuated with, which makes complete sense for Amy's personal situation at the time. Sometimes when you love someone, you just become a complete fool for them. She's basically saying, stop making me a fool, come over! It's back again to like that intense relationship that she's known for in her music. Sounds like wedding bells. It's nice that her discography, it's not just all sad, depressing songs about addiction. That's not the only thing that defines her. She was an incredible singer, incredible vocalist, like artist, writer, performer, and you know, her songs are that she's performed. She could perform like upbeat songs like this, sad ballads like "Love Is a Losing Game." Like, she was so versatile in her performance skill. So that was it. That was my Who Is series on Amy Winehouse. What is your favourite track from Amy? Are there any other artists you'd like me to look into in my deep dives? And what did you think about Amy, her career, her life? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, then like and subscribe. It means the absolute world. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Bye.